Hills. Fast, reliable, and wano ngati panakafuna akagwira walk 100.2 Galaxy FM. Sponsored by MTN sent you. To join MTN sent you, use my MTN app or dial *141# and get sent you points every time you use MTN.
Hello there and a very good morning to you. It's time for Hot on the Hills. We have 10 minutes to 11 o'clock. My name is Isamat Pamela and I'm glad that you could join me for this short program. Well, we get started with the health condition of the Lord Mayor Arias Lukwago. Remember last week on Friday, the Kampala Lord Mayor Arias Lukwago said he was in a stable condition and of course on a course to full recovery following his admission at the Nairobi hospital in Kenya. And Lukwago posted photos of himself and he said his health was getting better and he would be discharged soon. We also have had the Deputy Lord Mayor saying that they were able to conduct some tests on him that revealed that his condition was not life-threatening and that he was on the course to a quick recovery. But Rashida Nakai, our reporter, has been able to get in touch with his political assistant to tell us more about his health condition as he's still in Nairobi, but he'll be giving us much of the updates that have to do with the Lord Mayor. Remember, the Lord Mayor recently collapsed in church during the burial of the late Archbishop, that is Cyprian Kizito Luanga, and then he was rushed to hospital after he's just had an anxiety attack. And then when he was rushed to hospital, they forwarded him to Kenya for further treatment. But let's talk to Rashida Nakai now. Hello, Rashida.
Hello, Pamela.
Yes, you're with the political assistant of the Lord Mayor Arias Lukwago. What does he have to tell us about his condition?
Oh, well, today I'm trying to Lord Mayor Arias Lukwago's life is after he was taken to Nairobi for treatment after him getting unwell. And today, permit me to articulate with his political assistant, Mr. Elvis King. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm very much humbled to have this platform this morning. Health of the Lord Mayor. We have good news that ever since he had been referred to Nairobi Hospital for further treatment and management, he has had steady progress, and we anticipate that any time soon from now, will be recommended to come home and proceed with his mandate as given to him by the people of Kampala in the most recent election.
We would like to know when is he coming back, because we thought maybe this week he's going to come back.
Yes, like I mentioned, we expect him to be back anytime soon. We personally interacted with them last evening, and I was assured that they have every this morning. So the date of return is going to be dictated by what happens this morning. I know he was discharged a few days ago, and he started accessing outpatient services from the hospital. So I anticipate that as we speak now, in the hospital, so I anticipate that any information from the hospital this morning is going to dictate the date of return.
As the personal assistant, how could be perturbing our Lord Mayor?
Of course, this is a tough question. I'm not a physician myself, and there are also limits to what can be shared to the media in personal about one's health. But we realized some time back that ever since he returned from hospital last December, he has had a constant pain and abdominal pain. But recently, towards at the beginning of this month, he had intermittent dizziness that affected him, and largely it was the reason for referral. So they have done some diagnosis, and I know that at the end of the day, will be recommended recommended for the right drugs and maybe other medical advice to help him live longer.
Since he isn't around, how is work moving?
No, we are still progressing. We are not operating in a one-man system. We have a system in place that helps us operate whether in his presence or in his absence. So by structure, we have the deputy Lord Mayor in place who has been chairing cabinet meetings, and she also happens to be the lead of government business in the authority council. We have also a new legal regime that is barely a year into operation. We now have executive secretaries. We have 3 of them who are also assisting in transacting business in the city. Yeah. However, I also have to mention this, that we have been perturbed in the recent past about some speculative, deceitful, and outrightly spiteful news about his head, where some people maliciously pronounced him dead. We would like to request our people to desist from such fake news. Our people to also have their trusted sources of information. We have so many platforms where we can get information, but people also spread fake news for their egocentric purposes should be advised to keep away from that, so that we live in harmony as a nation without that unnecessary excitement.
Thank you so much, Mr. M. For having spoke today here at KCCN, and to find out how Mr. Elias Lukwago is doing that he told us that anytime now, Mr. Lukwago will be coming back.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Rashida Nakai giving us an update on the Lord Mayor's condition and how things are moving on at KCCA, even in his absence. But we have the assurance that he's now attending hospital as an outdoor patient, and very soon he will be released as he progresses well with his treatment. Now, Joel Ssenyonyi, the National Unity Platform spokesperson, has described the ongoing abductions of supporters as a psychological tactic deployed by the ruling NRM government to maintain its grip on the opposition and leave no trace of injustices and human rights violence, as several victims of election violence who went missing, build-up aftermath, began showing up in many places. Many of them have remained tight-lipped on what they went through in the hands of their abductors. Recently in Boama Town Council, PG District, 9 people were allegedly picked up off the streets, their homes, and by armed men in numberless white vehicles, and later dropped off at nearby swamp, but they have since remained silent on the experience they went through under abduction. Ssenyonyi says that the first sets of abductors were returned, and abductees were returned and lived to narrate the terrifying ordeal and of what they went through in the hands of their tormentors. But ever since then, others have remained silent. Now, this has also drawn concern from human rights defenders, the general population, and politicians alike, saying that abductions frustrates efforts to push justice for victims. The human rights lawyer Nicholas Opio says that the behavior of victims after being abducted is just reflecting of a manifested experience characterized by intimidation and fear of these people that have been abducted.
And so people who are victims of this sort of actions are within their rights to think that the worst could have happened to them, and that they come out of this situation not because of the concerted pressure and effort by human rights activists or by the state. So they see it as these people being merciful to them because they could have done worse. Many of them that we've spoken to have come close to the point of death and desperation. And so their sole concern is to rebuild their lives because they know the potential, the propensity for violence. It's just sheer intimidation. You're let out on condition that you shut up. And this has been the method of work for the security agencies for
However, Nicholas Opio's statements have been denied by Brigadier General Flavia Bekwaso, the UPDF spokesperson, who says that being accused of some of these violations by the military is not right. She says that the force doesn't gag people as it respects freedom of speech for anyone, even if they have been abducted and later released.
That's not part of our work method to gag people, because that is gagging. Our institution does not believe in gagging people. I think one of the things that we have fought for, or which this government has fought for, or what this force has fought for, is freedom. And one of the freedoms of speech. People speak the way they want. So I don't believe that they were told not to talk, really. Because even saying that they have talked. Yes, even saying that they have talked, someone who has been told not to say anything would not have made any comment.
That's Brigadier Flavia Bekwaso denying that the military or defense forces or even security agencies are in the business of making people keep silent even after they have been detained by them.
International news.
The head of the Egyptian Railways has been sacked following the latest deadly crash that happened at the network. Ashraf Raslan is among 10 top executives to be dismissed or reshuffled. Calls on social media for the resignation of Egypt's Transport Minister Kamel El Wazir have also gone unheeded too. Prosecutors investigating the latest disaster that happened over the weekend have now revised the number of those killed from 11 to now 23 people that have so far died. At least 20 people were killed in another train crash that happened last month. And that's it for this bulletin. I am Pamela. Good morning.
Hot on the Heels. Agagwira War was sponsored by MTN Ssenyonyi. For more of these stories, follow us on www.galaxyfm.co.ug or on Facebook at 100.2 Galaxy FM, on Twitter at Galaxy FM UG, and on YouTube at Galaxy FM TV. Zina.